Hi, I'm Erin Palmer, Team Rayceen Productions co-host and moderator.
And I'm Benjamin Coy, Team Racing Productions co-host and moderator.
Joining us is Rhonda Humphries, Committee Chair of the LGBTQIA Committee of the NAACP's Washington, D.C. branch. Hi, Rhonda.
Hi, Erin. Hi, Benjamin.
Hi. Before we talk about the work you do with the NAACP, please tell the viewers a little bit about your background and who you are.
I'm a native Washingtonian, a current Ward 7 resident, and also byproduct of our beautiful school system here, DCPS, and then also the Archdiocese. I'm a former educator here in DCPS, a school leader, as well as teacher. And currently I'm working with the NAACP as a committee chairwoman.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being here with us, Rhonda. Please tell us a little bit about the mission and the vision and what even is the LGBTQIA committee of the NAACP's Washington, D.C. branch.
Well, thank you. And first and foremost, let me just acknowledge that I do know that it's a mouthful, the acronym. Our mission with the LGBTQIA committee is to promote equity and inclusion of Black and Brown people here throughout Washington, D.C. We want to be able to provide a safe and non-judgmental space as a support network for members who share a common vision of advocacy and action. And so you may be familiar, but way back in the early 2000s, when we had Julian Bond as our chair, he actually introduced this idea around sexual minorities. And that also spearheaded the opportunity for us to begin talking about the inclusion of LGBTQIA members across our entire organization. And so here within Washington, D.C., not too long ago, we recently wrote a policy in which the entire organization adopted, where we have a standing committee, permanent committee, as opposed to a task force, where we advocate for the rights of our members. And then also ensuring that we have education around intersections that may divide us.
How was the work of the committee impacted by things such as local governments, court rulings, and police policy?
Thank you for that question, Benjamin. It's something that's been on my mind heavily and also on the mind of many of our members. Recently, we've seen two decisions. We have affirmative action that's taken place within the Supreme Court, and then we also had the recent ruling around treatment and service with LGBTQIA members. It makes me think about Kimberly Crenshaw's intersections and the basement analogy, and what happens when you have individuals who are starting at the bottom as opposed to the top in access. And so if we look at a heterosexual matrix and we see that white males are at the beginning or at the top of this matrix, and we have other minority groups who fall toward the bottom, when we look at sexual minorities, this puts us at a trifecta disadvantage. And so here within Washington, D.C., we do have some progressive policies that have been created. However, I will just, as the committee chair say, we can see a lot more in terms of the enactment and then also the follow through. I think there was a recent report about sexual harassment that has taken place and anti-harassment policies within D.C. government, and the report being only about 300 individuals, which I'll honestly say as a former D.C. government employee, I find it very hard to believe that we've only had those number of complaints, but then to see why some of those complaints were dismissed, it's obvious that we need more education and more training. And we also need to interrogate the quality of the training, not just simply providing grants to organizations in which we have partnerships or we have friendships or relationships that have been previously built, but truly finding organizations and also partnerships and workshops in which community members, organizations can come together and truly think about how does this impact us, and then how can we move it forward so that all individuals can have an inclusive Washington, D.C.
Interesting. What are some of the committee's priorities with regard to LGBTQ youth, and what's some of the work you're doing there?
So with our youth, we know, regardless of LGBTQIA status, we have a crisis here in Washington, D.C. We want to ensure that our youth know that they are welcome, that they are safe, and that they are in a non-judgmental space. A lot of the stigmas and the biases that our youth face, in particular, I think about our Black young males. A lot of it are stigmas that are rooted in anti-LGBTQIA. language and harassment. And so a lot of our priorities is to ensure that we can reach our youth first. And that ensures that we have education, that we are pouring into our youth so that they understand what our stigmas, what our stereotypes, but that also they have access to resources around social and emotional health. And so we want to partner with our education committee and then also other organizations in which we can pull those youth in, heterosexual, LGBTQIA, because we want to create a safe space for all. But for LGBTQIA youth in particular, we know that homelessness also plays a factor, in addition to some of the violence that we may see here in the city. And so we want to be able to say, or see rather, what are some of the resources that we have here in our city and how can we expand those to ensure that our LGBTQIA youth also have a safe space in which they can lay their heads down, but then that resource afterwards. A lot of times our youth, when they turn 18 or 21, they're an adult now. And so as an adult, we often take a hands-off approach. And that sometimes can see a cycle that's created in which our youth go back into the streets and we see more violence created. And so our goal and our priority is to be able to create partnerships, to be able to spread our message, and then also to be able to educate our community.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for your work, honestly. What are some ways that people can get involved?
You can sign up, join our committee. You can also just join the organization. We do have a grant that was awarded to us by our national organization, so we can discount some of the membership fees, which could be, can be, I would say, a lot pricey for individuals. We have annual, then also lifetime memberships. So you can visit us at naacpdc.org. You can also visit us on our social media at naacpdc.lgbtqia. You can follow us there where we update information about just that. What is LGBTQIA? What does it stand for? What does it mean? What are some ways that you can be more inclusive? And then some resources for our community.
Rhonda, you've told us a little bit about how people can get involved and how they can stay in touch. What are some things that are upcoming that people can look to join in on or get involved with that you're working on?
Thank you so much for asking that too. So we are open always to membership. We do recognize that sometimes, membership, you don't have to actually be a due paying member, but we do encourage due paying membership, and we do work with our members to be able to become due paying members. So I do want to just throw that out there because price can become a barrier. With that, we have some upcoming meetings coming up this month. You can check our page where you can find the link. You can sign up and you'll receive email access to our newsletter as well. You can also check our website and you can see all of our events that are upcoming. And we're going to be planning for a get together in person, pending the conditions for COVID prior to Thanksgiving.
Rhonda, can you repeat the social media and website information for viewers?
Yes, it's naacpdc.org. And for our Instagram, it's naacpdc.lgbtqia.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rhonda. Viewers, please look in the description box below for links.
Rhonda, thank you so much for joining us. To those watching, please follow Team Rayceen on social media and subscribe to the Team Rayceen YouTube channel.
Viewers, thank you for watching.